Boy, this is sure a pretty nice place. I expected a log cabin with no running water, not a palace. Even the furniture is nicer than ours at home. Real leather, chairs, solid oak dining table, and fancy rugs on the floor. Oh, this is what I call roughing it. Let me just sit by this fireplace for a bit until I warm up. I'll eat in a few minutes. The impatience she feels shows in her scowl, spreading across her face. Ralph squirms as you remember how angry she can get. I wouldn't have believed Lily's grandfather could afford a fancy place like this. He must have done well in the real estate business. Lily interrupts his thoughts with the stern, "Come on, Ralph, quit daydreaming and eat this soup. I'm sure it's probably cold by now." With a big sigh of resignation, Ralph answers, "I'm coming. I'm hungry enough to eat it hot or cold." He sits at the table and digs in. With dinner just a memory, and the baby settled in for the night, Ralph decides it's time to hear that story. Why Lily has come up for running off like that. I don't mean to sound insensitive to your feelings, but I would like an explanation as to why you left the resort and didn't even think to leave me a message. If it hadn't been for your mother's suggestion, I still wouldn't know where you are. I'm sure you're angry and probably hurt too, but I had my reasons. I'm not sure I'm ready to tell you. Can we just get a good night's sleep and talk about it tomorrow? I suppose that'll work. I'm just played out in my nose and he's screaming for attention. Do you have something I can do them to ease the pain? Sure. I'll get something and meet you upstairs in the master bedroom. We both need to get some sleep. That caretaker shook me up so bad, I'm still shaking. Ralph heads upstairs to find the master bedroom, all the while searching for the light. In the darkened hallway, he walks directly into a potted plant, knocking it to the floor. A moan escapes his clenched lips, as he wonders why anyone would leave a plant up here. Giving it a swift kick out of frustration, he continues his search. The night passes peacefully with both Ralph and Lily lost in their own dreams. Baby Shelley breaks the silence early in the morning with the cries of a wet, hungry baby. Being a good mother, Lily slips out of bed, trying not to disturb Ralph to take care of her. She is well aware how beat up and exhausted he is, and she isn't anxious to tell her story anyways. Baby Shelley gets her required attention, and then, like babies do, snuggles in her blanket for a morning nap. She sure is a good baby, thinks Lily. I have to do something to keep from losing her, even if I have to lie. Will Ralph understand? I hope so. A tired, bruised Ralph makes his way down the stairs to the kitchen. Is there anything for breakfast, Lily? I'm starved. I'll fry up some eggs and make some toast. I just put Shelley back down for a nap, so we should have a little time for ourselves. Over breakfast, silence hung over them, making them both uncomfortable. Neither wanted to get into an argument, especially after all they had been through. The big question, however, was still not answered. Why had she left? Raph sat down his fork and cleared his throat. That was delicious. I really enjoyed breakfast with you. Now, can we get to the question I asked you last night? Why did you run off like that? I don't know if you'll understand, but I had my reasons like I said before. I can't bear the thought of losing Shelley, since we haven't been able to adopt her. They could take her at any moment. Running off into the wilderness and telling no one where you are isn't an answer, Lily. There has to be another reason you ran off. Alright, but you have to promise to keep this to yourself. Sure, just tell me what's going on. You remember I had to go to the social services to get permission from our trip? Yeah, go on. They had me wait in the foyer for my turn to see the social worker. I overheard a lady talking in the office down the hall, telling a very sad story of how her daughter had left her baby on the bus, and how she was trying to find her. I was devastated to think she was looking for our Shelley. I gathered my things and got out of there just as fast as I could. I didn't tell you because I figured you would notify the police and we would lose her. The blood drains from Ralph's face, and he is suddenly short of oxygen. Desperately he tries to regain control, wondering if Lily had noticed his reaction. I can't let her know how much I know. Plunging straight ahead as if he is totally shot. He tries to console her with words of support without revealing his knowledge of the woman she's talking about. He starts to pace the floor, something he only does when he feels trapped. As if on cue, Shelley awakens with the squall. I have to tend to her now, so we'll discuss this later. Ralph plans an escape so he can get this in his head. So he can get his head together. I'll just go outside and chop some wood for the fireplace. No use me just sitting here watching you. I might as well get some exercise and restock the wood pile. The axe is lying on the wood box with the splitting wedge next to it. Ralph reaches for the axe and picks it up by the blade instead of the handle. Pain runs up his hands as he cuts his thumb, the cut on his thumb drips blood on the deck. He pulls out his handkerchief and wraps it, holding it tight until it stops bleeding. Gritting his teeth to keep from cussing, he thinks this may just what he deserves for being deceitful. Retrieving the axe from where it had been thrown, he returns to the woodpile to finish what he started. With the arms loaded, he kicks the door and calls Lily to let him in. Honey, open the door for me, please. I have to find out what she's planning to do next. Hopefully she'll be ready to go home. Here, pile it next to the fireplace, in the wood box. What happened to your hand? That is a massive fireplace. It must burn an awful lot of wood. By the way, did you notice the temperature's risen in the past hour? It must be 35 degrees outside. If it stays like this all day, the snow should melt off enough for us to get out of here. Ralph, fighting to keep his voice calm, walks over to the window and points out the melting snow. Look, honey, it's already melting. Struggling with their words, Lily quietly says, if we go back home, we'll lose Shelley. Is that what you want? Glancing at the baby, Ralph tries to think of an answer. We have to do what's right, don't we? I'm not leaving if I have to give up Shelley. I don't care what you say. Ralph's face shows the despair he is feeling. I don't want to make her mad, or this will just turn into another fight. I'll just make such a logical case she won't be able to argue. Putting his arms around her, he kisses her on the cheek. You're just about the best mother in the whole world, Lily. If we apply to adopt Shelley, we'll have a good chance of getting her legally. If we kidnap her, we'll never have her legally and we'll have to hide from the law the rest of our lives. Do you want to live like that, do you? The look she gives him is neither agreeable or disagreeable, so he expects the worst. His chest tightens as he looks at her, knowing that at the least he has made her think. She is reduced to a weeping, anxious woman who is losing confidence in herself. He presses on. Honey, I promised I'd let your mother know if I found you. She's worried sick. Let's see if there's a cell service up here. Ralph goes to the bedroom to find his phone. He goes through his coat pocket until he finds it in his inner pocket. Flipping it open, he checks the cell calling bars and sees there are none. Rats. Nuts. He says under his breath. We're really at the end of our civilization. Jamming it into his jean pockets, he returns downstairs to the living room. No luck, honey. The phone is useless up here in the mountains. I figure it would be. You can't be sure it won't work when you really need it. I'm sorry I'm worried my mom. She has been so good to me. She doesn't deserve a daughter like me. Sweetheart, don't talk like that. You just let your desire for a baby cloud your judgment. I understand that. I want a baby too, but not this way. I don't want to lose Shelley. The tears start to flow, breaking Ralph's heart. I think she's about ready to give up. Now's the time to press her to go home. Honey, let me gather our belongings, and we'll plan to head out at the first light in the morning.